Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. Hope everybody had an amazing, blessed weekend. Hope you guys had fun with the family. I know over here in Southern California, we kind of had really good weather. We had sunny, like about 80 degrees outside, high 70s. For those who don't live in beautiful Southern California, if it was rainy, I'm sorry. I'm not a huge rain man myself. That's why I love summertime. I'm a freak and I kind of like it when it's like 113 degrees outside. But that's when I thrive. I do my best workout when it's hot. So, thank you for tuning in to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. We have a great show for you today. Today we're going to have our WWE SmackDown review, also our Monday Night Raw preview. It's happening as we speak. It just started. Can't wait to watch it. And also we're going to talk about TNA Rebellion. Also, there's some things I noticed about the pay-per-view that maybe could help it moving forward, and also maybe exactly why TNA kind of found itself like kind of in a hole, as a company. So we can dig deep into that to kind of cap it all off. We're going to talk about WWE recently released a number of stars. So yeah, don't go anywhere. It's going to be a pretty tight show. All right. Well, before we start, we jump in anything. We get a number of questions from our viewers that come in during the show. So to ensure that your question gets read on air, I ask you to use the tips and donations link at the gsmcpodcast.net with your question. Just put your questions up on top so I can see it, so we can talk about it. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. Tell me what you want to. Tell me what you want to talk about. Tell me, something in wrestling that you want to further dive deep on. Maybe you can teach me something. Maybe you're the podcaster and I can be the podcastee. I think that's the way. No, no, no. Audience. I can't believe I've totally whipped that one. But anyways, it really helps the show, guys. A little peace, love, and positivity at the GSMC Sports Network. Again, the link is the GSMC podcast.net. So yeah. All right, let's go ahead and dive deep into our WWE SmackDown review. It was a great SmackDown, another SmackDown under the Paul Levesque era under his belt. Next week we have the draft. So ultimately, a lot of stuff happened. Definitely a lot of draft implications in terms of like kind of what superstars seem like they kind of fit on Fox 11. I know a lot of people are like, oh, not SmackDown, but you got to also think about like it's cable television. It's cable television as opposed to the USA Network, which is Monday Night Raw. Sometimes, I guess Monday Night Raw's, it's going to be on Netflix in the near future. Also, the NXT moving to the CW. So I don't know, but they did say that Monday Night Raw will not be changed from Mondays. Absolutely not, because that would you know, kill the whole Monday Night Raw like fever. Why? How it was created like you just had people go through the weekend. Usually weekend there's pay-per-views and stuff in wrestling and stuff like that, and then Monday night, bam. You know how people dread going to work on Mondays and they're like, oh man, I have a total hangover right now. Oh God. And then what do you have to look forward to coming home from work? Your wife? Yeah, of course. Your kids? Yes. Monday Night Raw? I'm just no. Well, yeah, I do get excited about watching Monday Night Raw when I get off of work. So I don't know. That's just something that the reason why that when Vince McMahon created Monday Night Raw, it was kind of like it was kind of raw, like hence the name Monday Night Raw, like raw, just action, raw entertainment. So I thought that was, pretty cool. So let's jump into it. So we have the LA Knight and AJ Styles kicked off the show with their match for the number one contendership for Cody Rhodes' WWE Undisputed Championship. All in all, it was a good match, a lot of back and forth. Most of the match, I think, was controlled by LA Knight, and it felt like whenever AJ Styles kind of got some momentum built up, LA Knight was able to kind of kill it and was able to control and dictate the match, which I kind of thought he was going to win. I spoke to you guys last podcast and I was like, oh, what I think is going to happen is the LA Knight's gonna win. But what should happen is AJ Styles, should get the victory. And lo and behold, AJ Styles, he's going to fight Cody Rhodes at Backlash. So I don't know, it just kind of makes me think, like I said before, we were talking about how AJ Styles, he said he's honestly contemplated about retiring. I don't know if he wants to go out with one big bang to fight against, his friend Cody Rhodes. You know, um, Obviously both of them. Well, Cody Rhodes was originally brought up in WWE, had to leave the WWE to kind of do some time in Ring of Honor. and then he created AEW, and then he ultimately came back. And AJ Styles, who was an absolute dynamo in TNA wrestling, which we're gonna kind of talk about in our third segment, so don't go anywhere. But I'm happy AJ Styles picked up the victory. I'm really happy. He knows how to put on a very well like thought out main event or like a wrestling match. You can tell like that he cares. You know, when they do prep for these matches for these pay-per-views, these guys are in the ring hours on end because they want to put on a good show for the entertainment factor. Because if the match looks, you know, kind of crappy live, if it looks like, you know, then you're not going to get ticket sales, you know, so to speak. And also, you can kind of, it drains the fans. When the fans watch wrestling, they want to see these guys like, you know, it looks like these guys actually hate each other. These guys are putting their bodies through excruciating pain, trying to, you know, upsell the other guy. And the fans, they see it once when a bad match is performed. And I think, you know, once again, you know, I'm not hating on AEW, but I feel like that's one of the huge, you know, things that they don't accomplish well in their, you know, organization. But and of course, if you disagree, you can always hit me up in the tips and donations link at the GSMC podcast on that. But anyway, so AJ Styles was able to pick up the victory. He was able to pick up the victory, thumb to the eye, kind of, you know, kind of, you know, the only reason why he did that was because he, you know, right now he's a heel. Right now he's kind of not with the OC. Um, so ultimately he's kind of going. AJ Styles, I feel like at the end of his career, he's like, you know what? I'm going to go out there on my own and I'm going to try to get mine. I'm going to try to get mine the way I want it to, the way that's going to make me kind of go out like in a blaze of glory, kind of like a badass. And honestly, it's it's a doozy. It's a doozy right now to be like, dude, AJ Styles is going to beat Cody Rhodes, especially after Cody Rhodes waited 2 years to beat Roman Reigns. And so imagine if AJ Styles won a backlash. That would be a huge like wrestling like slap in the face. If AJ Styles wins at backlash, I will, you know, on air, I will jump into the pool. I'm just kidding. The pool's like freaking 30 degrees. But you know, um I don't know. I think it's cool for AJ, and I think this is like one of his dream matches come true to fight against Cody. So ultimately, I think win or lose, I think he, you know, he feels like he's winning. So, you know, good for AJ Styles. Next, we have the WWE Tag Team Champions have been crowned. We have A-Town Down Under, ultimately being super disrespectful to the boss Triple H, and even you know, and they all decided to get in there, you know. But that's A-Town Down. You know what I mean? That's their persona, and they're the heel tag team right now. Uh, Nick Aldis, he introduced a fatal four-way tag team match for the number one contenders. For the WWE tag team titles, you had the Street Profits, Tyler Bates and Pete Dunne, authors of Pain, and Legado del Fantasma. This match was, you know, it was pretty good. A lot of, I liked how there was a lot of two counts and people would come in at the last minute and like break it up. I don't know, you could just tell, like, just because wrestling is wrestling doesn't mean that these superstars don't care. And you could tell, like, by the look on their faces and the maneuvers they were doing, they care. Obviously they want to become WWE tag team champions. Like even in your line of work, like if you might not have to be entertained in front of people in front of like and be like choreographed and stuff like that, but just you know being on cue, trying to you know honestly you have to take care of your body as well as the other guys. So honestly, I think wrestlers have a lot. You know they have a lot to do. So you know. Obviously, that's why we give credit to them. That's why we watch. That's why, you know, whenever people are like, oh, wrestling is not the other, we prove the naysayers. You know, we're like, hey, like, I still love it. If you give it a shot, you'll probably love it too. So ultimately, the Street Profits were able to win. I kind of saw that coming, and honestly, I feel like it was the right thing for the Street Profits to get the victory. Now they're going to fight A-Town Down Under. You have this ultimate, you know, these heels against these. The Street Profits were kind of lingering toward them and Lashley as kind of like those businessmen, kind of like those guys that are, oh, we're going to go out there and get ours. I don't care if we're upsetting the crowd. I don't care if we make them happy, sad, you know, whatever. So they kind of had that persona going on. But recently they've been kind of hopping toward that, like more like a baby face. And I'm eating it up. I think it's great. I've been praising D'Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford for the longest time. They deserve a WWE Tag Team title reign. I think the time is now. Ultimately, will they win at Backlash? Who knows? But you know, good luck to them. Next, we have Paul Heyman tries to put Solo Sikoa in his place. Solo Sikoa and Paul Heyman came out, and before they went out, Paul Heyman like told Solo, he was like, "Look, right now, it's not your time. It's not your time. It's not your place to be making decisions, bringing in Tama Tonga. I think Jacob Fatu is, creeping around the corner. And, this isn't ultimately your decision. You're not the tribal chief yet." And honestly, Solo Sikoa didn't like to hear that. And I think it's just a matter of time until they take out Paul Heyman. And right now, you kind of have the elders out of the tribe. You have The Rock and Roman Reigns currently out. And to be honest, I think what they're doing right here with Solo Sikoa is genius, absolutely genius. Because essentially, you kind of had Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns was he was the epitome of that heel, that dominance, WWE champion for a long time, and he loses against Cody Rhodes, and everybody was like, "Oh, cool! Rhodes is like the champion, and now Reigns is gone." And then now you have Solo Sikoa come in, and everybody's like, "Oh, we're not going to miss Roman. We're not going to miss Roman." Look, 2 weeks into WWE, we miss Roman. The fans were even saying it like, "We want Roman." And just the way they kind of have those pick the lesser two evils in that storyline, I think was genius. Absolutely genius. Definitely setting something up for the future with the match amongst Solo Sikoa and Roman Reigns. I know a lot of people probably anticipate The Rock eventually fighting Roman Reigns, but honestly, I think Solo Sikoa fighting Roman Reigns is more practical, is more pragmatic, and it's probably going to happen sooner than you think. So, as I know right now, WWE enlisted Roman Reigns as out indefinite. He's probably taking care of some health issues. Obviously, you see him doing things in Hollywood and stuff like that. He's actually being praised by other actors, saying that he like basically belongs on the screen and that he makes like other like actors comfortable around. And that's the reason, that's what makes actors so successful. That's why you see Tom Cruise in every movie. Well, not nowadays, but like that's why you see him in mostly. That's why you see Mark Wahlberg in like mostly every movie. That's why you see for the longest time, it was, I felt like I kept seeing, like Samuel L. Jackson everywhere. It's just like sometimes these actors, yeah, they're good. You can be good at acting. Can you be good at acting and also be very approachable and also be great to work with? Sometimes guys have, problems doing that. And Roman Reigns is obviously, he's able to adapt. He's a WWE superstar. He's worked with people inside and out of the business. And it's no surprise that he's killing it over in Hollywood like he did in the WWE. So, obviously you saw Kevin Owens being attacked. This is kind of setting something up for Kevin Owens eventually fighting the Bloodline. Kind of maybe have to gather up a group. Obviously, he kind of had that stint with Randy Orton last before WrestleMania 40. So I don't know if Randy's going to go help him, and eventually maybe Jay joins in. But Lord only knows. Lord only knows. Anyways, so it got to the point where they kind of showed something happen outside. They showed something outside. Solo Sikoa ran into Kevin Owens' car. Nick Aldis, absolutely furious, told Paul Heyman, "You got to keep your guys under control, man, because we settle things out inside the ring, not out in the parking lot, not damaging, vehicles or something like that, not trying to kill someone like personally." So honestly, he kind of put that out there and he said he doesn't want this on his show. And that kind of made me think of, I was like, you know what? That actually, obviously Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga is kind of, doing their own thing right now. I don't know if they're going to listen to Paul Heyman, but this could ultimately, jeopardize them from being drafted to WWE SmackDown. Absolutely. And the Bloodline has been exclusively on SmackDown for God, the longest time. I think that was something that definitely Fox was like, all right, if you're gonna put a show on broadcast television, we want the guy. We want the guy. So which one makes me like, okay, maybe they might be drafted to WWE Raw, which would probably make the most sense at this point. Getting drafted to Raw, I kind of snowballed and, kind of thought throw out a trial balloon about maybe them going to NXT. But I read recently that NXT is planning on keeping Trick Williams. And I think that they should ultimately put Trick in a position where he's like a complete, like, he's like the one. He's like the hero. Because obviously, when you go to the CW in October, you're going to need somebody like that. You're going to need someone in the main event caliber like Roman Reigns. You're going to need someone in the main event caliber like Cody Rhodes. And I think that they're going to keep Trick Williams in there, which totally just kind of like, you know what? I don't think the Bloodline is going to the WWE NXT anymore. Honestly, I don't. But can I see Cody Rhodes going to SmackDown? I honestly I can, but and I know this might seem completely dorky and completely out of like probably far fetched, but I think that they kind of want to keep Cody Rhodes wrestling and Michael Cole announcing together because I like Corey Graves, I like Wade Barrett, but when Cody Rhodes is in the ring and Michael Cole is announcing, it's just art. It's just beautiful. It's just more appealing to the crowd. It's just something that hooks you more. And honestly, I think as soon as they get that deal done with Netflix, which no, I think it's already done. I think as soon as they start filming on Netflix, maybe next WWE draft, they might like bring Roman in or something like that. But for the foreseeable future, with the draft, it would not surprise me. Absolutely, it would not surprise me if Cody Rhodes goes to SmackDown. Would not surprise me at all. And Michael Cole would eventually kind of make the jump there as well. All right, and kind of moving on, strapped for time, we have Carlito versus Santos Escobar. This match was obviously not like a setup, but kind of like the LWO trying to avenge Dragon Lee. Ultimately, didn't happen because you saw Elektra Lopez attacking Selena Vega, which distracted Carlito, who got the first, was able to gain momentum the first time in that match. And ultimately was shut down because of, Santos Escobar doing Santos Escobar things, cheating. I'm just kidding, though. But for the distraction, next we have Damage Control lining up in the luxury box to watch the main event, the WWE Women's Championship match between Bayley and Naomi. Ultimately, they interviewed Dakota Kai, and Dakota Kai said that Io Sky, she's gonna get her title back when she's ready. So I was like, I kind of thought to myself, I was like, okay, that's cool. I don't want to see Io leave the WWE. I don't want to see her leave a division that she prospered pretty well. Like you might say, like, oh, the only reason why she won the matches was because of Damage Control. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. But the whole entire match, keep the match going for like 8 to like 12 minutes. You have to give credit where it's due. And Io Sky, she's a great wrestler. She's a great performer. So honestly, I don't want to see Io Sky go anywhere. It'd be cool to see a rematch, which they're kind of building up toward because you saw Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair basically telling the Kabuki Warriors like, "Hey, we're next." So that just eliminates Bayley fighting Jade and Bianca. And I think even with the draft happening next week, I don't think they're just going to hand out a number one contendership thing like that. But then you have Bayley. You have Io, you have Naomi, and then the person who interrupted the match. You had Tiffy Time come out and basically destroy Bayley and Naomi. So what would be really cool, what I want should happen, is a nice little fatal four-way match, the WWE SmackDown before Backlash. And I don't know, I think that would, honestly, if I was, the writer, that's kind of something that I would want to see because those 4 girls in the ring at the same time would be absolutely stellar. Absolutely stellar. Well, so don't go anywhere. Next, we're talking about Monday Night Raw happening right now. If you guys are watching it, cool. I will be watching it as soon as I get done with this podcast and be sending some shorts on YouTube to check it out, live reactions. And so hey, don't go anywhere.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits. I'm losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip. You choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
All right, welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Recently, we talked about our Friday Night SmackDown review. We saw AJ Styles beating the LA Knight, ultimately securing the victory to challenge Cody Rhodes. We saw kind of where they want to take the WWE women's championship, moving forward with Bayley, Naomi, Tiffany Stratton, and honestly, I think Io Sky kind of sitting, the Bayside in the luxury booth, kind of kind of shows that she's probably going to make a run at the champion again. Obviously, her and Bayley have good chemistry. Beyond, we're speaking, beyond the ring where they're not, depicted as hating each other as like, could you talk about her to me? All that kind of stuff, which is cool. I love watching them. That's why I'm a wrestling fan. We loved it. I like it a lot. Well, kind of moving forward, we have our Monday Night Raw preview. But before we go anywhere, I want to remind you guys that we get a number of questions from our viewers that come in during the show. So to ensure that your question gets read on air, I ask you to use the tips and donations link at the GSMC podcast.net and just submit your questions. Just put your questions up on top of the list so I can see it. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. Tell me what you want to talk about. I want to hear you guys' voice. I want to hear how these matches make you feel. I want to hear maybe some maybe some predicted storylines so we can talk about it. Always open toward outside, perspectives, outside criticism. Love it. Feedback is a gift. And obviously, positive feedback is good. Positive feedback's better. Here at the GSMC podcast, we love podcasting network. We love peace, love, and positivity, especially at the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, because don't hurt my feelings. Don't go breaking my heart. I'm just kidding. No, again, it really helps the show. And the link is at GSMC podcast.net. So don't be afraid to, share your opinions. Bad, good, mutual. Let's do it. This is wrestling. We're all family, guys. We're all family. All right. Next, we have our WWE Raw preview. WWE Raw will be at Scottenstein Center in Columbus, Ohio. Gunther is going to return. Gunther. Wow. This is big. This is big because right before the draft, it's going to be interesting to see where WWE is deciding to take his character. Will he have a WWE Championship foreseeable future? Perhaps. He puts on a hell of a show. He puts on a hell of a match. So it wouldn't surprise me. And he also holds the title really well. But right now, your champions are Cody Rhodes and Damian Priest. Kind of going toward Cody Rhodes seems a little far-fetched, but you kind of had it all depends where he gets drafted. It all depends where he gets drafted. So, best believe whatever show he gets drafted to and whatever champion goes to that show, he's going to make a run at one of those titles. So, I think that's, what's next. I think he better fits on let's put him on SmackDown. I like him on SmackDown. I'm going to be doing the WWE draft, mock draft on Thursday to kind of see where we're going to go in terms of, WWE stars and where they belong and why they particularly should be on that show. But also, which title I think he's going to go for. Like I said, he's accomplished the Intercontinental Championship. Highly doubt he'll go to tag team division with, Imperium. Highly doubt that he'll go toward Logan Paul. If he does go toward Logan Paul for a match at SummerSlam or something like that, maybe that could be, obviously Logan Paul is going to be in front of his hometown. He's going to be the ultimate underdog, and you're going to have Gunther coming into town. That would be a pretty good match. But will it happen? I don't know. Next, we have the Awesome Truth defends their WWE World Tag Team titles against DIY, or what R-Truth likes to call D-Generation X. I love R-Truth. I love R-Truth. I think it's, super cool. I love his personality. And you can just tell from his persona. You can tell on screen that he's just having a good time. This is truth. This is his personality. And I like it how WWE is totally cool with letting him kind of open up and kind of be himself. And it's entertaining us out and it works. But one of the questions I thought about was which team would represent the tag team division better? Honestly, I think these titles are probably going to stay on Monday Night Raw. So, being truthful, I think DIY should get the victory here. I love the Awesome Truth. I love they had their WrestleMania moment. But honestly, I kind of like DIY here to pick up the victory. Not a lot of teams, especially on Monday Night Raw, kind of have that heel form. So I don't know if they find a way to kind of cheat to win and kind of become heels, which I, hope doesn't happen. But, like I said last podcast, I hope they don't do that to Chad Gable. And they did do that to Chad Gable. But there's been speculation that they're going to have the Creed brothers kind of move on to Chad Gable's like stable, and they're going to be, they're going to be bad guys, so to speak. They're going to be, kind of like what Kurt Angle was. Kurt Angle had Charlie Haas, Shelton Benjamin, and I think they were called the greatest tag team ever or something like that. Olympic wrestlers just basically wreaking havoc. Chad Gable definitely has the potential to be a leader, to be an antagonist, and also be that guy that everybody's like, I hate that guy, but I love watching his matches. Perfect heel, perfect heel. But I hate him at the same time because I like Chad Gable as a babyface. That's just Anyways, moving on, we have Dominic Mysterio and J.D. McDonough versus Andrade and Ricochet. Honestly, guys, I don't want to be that slap in the face of reality, but with Rhea Ripley gone, with Damian Priest kind of heading toward a babyface, I think this might be the last year you will see the Judgment Day. I think it will be. I think they're heading toward kind of like a breakup, breaking up the band, so to speak. JD McDonough and Dominic Mysterio are kind of abominations to Judgment Day. And I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to be mean. Just, definitely analyzing the way they've been portrayed in matches on Monday Night Raw. And it's just, I don't know where you're going to kind of put Dominic Mysterio and JD McDonough without Judgment Day. But honestly, if maybe Finn Balor kind of takes over the stable for himself, for McDonough and Dominic Mysterio, maybe they can find their way back to WWE NXT, or continue to, I don't know, keeping them on Raw would really, especially with the Bloodline. If the Bloodline moves to Raw, you can bet that the Judgment Day is absolutely over. They're absolutely over, or they're going to be moved to NXT. Highly doubt SmackDown, but SmackDown, you kind of need that stable that's kind of like that gets the people like riled up, gets the people like going, gets blood pumping, hires that blood pressure up. So honestly, I don't know what they're gonna do with the Judgment Day. All I know is lately they haven't been, very, cohesive as a group, and that continuity, especially in terms of like, mixed emotions from Damian Priest on the actions of Finn Balor and JD Dominic attacking Jey Uso after Finn Balor's match last week. So, that's gonna leave for some good stuff. Next we have our WWE Women's World Championship Battle Royal. I'm excited as heck to watch this match. I can't wait to see what happens. Usually, and a lot of people will agree with me on this, that when you say battle royal in any instance for a championship match, Andre the Giant Memorial, number one contenders, or of course the Royal Rumble. Whenever there's a battle royal, that just sets people up for an absolute shocking return, an absolute underdog getting a chance to fight for winning the championship. So, like I said, it wouldn't surprise me if Alexa Bliss returns tonight. It wouldn't surprise me if, maybe they get somebody from NXT to kind of randomly. And this is absolutely speculation. I'm here with you guys. I'm on the West Coast. I don't have DirecTV, so I can't watch it at 5 p.m. Even if I did, I'm at work till like 7. So I am just in the dark just as much as you guys are. I wish I kind of had a side TV right here, but I think the whole time I'd be like, the GSMC Wrestling Laureate. Like, I don't know, like it'd be like I would be like probably flipping the lid the whole time, and saying that wouldn't be good entertainment, but I'm just saying that I don't know. I'm here with you guys. Let's watch Raw together. That'd be cool. That'd be cool. Honestly, a watch party would be dope. All right. So like I said, the Women's World Championship is going to be absolutely like crazy. I know you're gonna see Jade and Belair, but just kind of seeing them up in that luxury booth, kind of mad dogging the Kabuki Warriors, kind of shows that they want to kind of fight for that WWE Women's World Tag Team titles, which is great for Belair because she's accomplished everything under the sun in WWE, and which is also good with Jade Cargill. Because there's been reports that say that she kind of wants to get eased into the WWE. Obviously, she would be absolutely humble and grateful for the opportunity, but at the same time, you got to be real with yourself. You got to be real, like, hey, I kind of do have a history of injuries, so you know what? Let's kind of ease on into it. Take one match at a time, run promo, one pay per view at a time, and just kind of see what's what. There's no doubt in my mind that Jade is going to get a title shot. No doubt. And she probably had the strap on her for quite a bit. Um, Another favorite that people are kind of talking about is perhaps maybe Liv Morgan, her her revenge tour, so to speak, and maybe like sometimes some like after the battle royal, maybe that's when Alexa Bliss will come out and like challenge her, or somebody else would come out, maybe Becky Lynch. Well, Becky Lynch is planning, she's planning to be a part of it. It wouldn't mind if Becky. Well, I don't know because like I said, Rhea Ripley's injury was absolutely like unprecedented. A lot of people couldn't, the WWE creative could not prepare for that. So, people thinking about, hey, like if Becky wins this battle royal, why didn't she just win at WrestleMania 40? Like, no, it's way, it's not like that. It's way more, it's different. Yeah, obviously, people aren't gonna be like, "Oh, Rhea Ripley's gonna get injured," then bam, that's when Becky's time to shine. And to be honest, kind of thinking about the man, kind of thinking about her persona, portrayed on TV, even as a professional, even outside of the ring, I doubt she would want to win a WWE World Championship under these circumstances. She wants to win it in a ring, in a great match, in a great pay per view, or on like Raw or SmackDown. She wants to put into work. She doesn't want to, just throw someone over the top rope and be like, "Oh, the man, Becky Lynch." Like I don't know. You can tell by her personality that she fights for what she wants. And of course, I'm not dogging anybody who wins the battle royal tonight and saying that they're not warriors. But anyways, all right, we're moving on here. We have our WWE women's tag team division kind of heating up. Last week on Monday Night Raw, you had Piper Niven and Chelsea Green pick up the victory, and then you also have Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. Honestly, this tag team division is going to be on fire within the next couple of weeks, especially with WWE NXT. They have so much girls on that roster, so many tag teams that are going to come out and absolutely kill it. I don't know how many WWE NXT superstars are going to be drafted to the main card. Well, I don't even know if it's the main card anymore because WWE NXT kind of wants to become like its own entity. So that's why, you kind of got the show on the CW coming. You kind of need a champion to represent each caliber of like, you need a good women's champion. You need a good NXT world. You need good NXT women's champion. Like you need all that to like kind of be a top tier show worth watching for your audience. Definitely, absolutely. I don't know if WWE NXT will stay on Tuesday nights. Most likely than not they will, but I don't know. I see the WWE Women's Tag Division in every in SmackDown, Raw, NXT kind of heating up here. So it's gonna be exciting. Next we have Sheamus made his return last week. Came back from a neck injury that a lot of WWE superstars kind of, are some are fortunate to come back, some are not. Obviously, in terms of Big E, who he said that the doctor may never clear him again to start wrestling again, which kind of sucks because he was good on the New Day. He was great talent. He was a great, personality. It was fun to watch him, Xavier Woods, and Kofi Kingston kind of wreak, fun havoc all over the WWE. So, hopefully one day we will have that back or something like that. Maybe he comes back as like a manager or something like that, which would be pretty cool. Next we have Jay's comments toward the bloodline. He was ultimately asked if he was concerned about Jimmy Uso's the attack that was on his brother from Tama Tonga, and he kind of said, "Hey, like I'm trying to focus on this right here," but it kind of I kind of saw a foreshadow of them getting back together, but after he beat Finn Balor in a match, I kind of thought I was like, you know what, Jimmy and Jay Uso getting back together right now wouldn't really make sense. It's not fair to Jay. It's not fair to Jay. Of course, you got to be there for your brother and stuff like that. Your Us, but at the same time, dude, like you have a shot here. You can very much like you're gonna fight Damian Priest for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, and I feel like that match could go either way. Honestly, I do. I think it's going to be a pretty long time until you see a reign like Roman Reigns is again, Hulk Hogan, Bruno Sammartino, Bob Backlund. I think WWE is going to kind of take a break from that, title reign kind of storyline. But because you're kind of developed in that new era, you're in the Paul Levesque era, where I feel like ultimately he likes the young guys. He appreciates the older guys making sacrifices. Obviously, you saw Shinsuke Nakamura lose a match against Ilya Dragunov. Was that good for Shinsuke's career? No. But was Shinsuke like a team player and was like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, maybe I will help one of these younger guys because I know how it feels. I was once in WWE NXT and I came up to the main roster, had some success, fought AJ Styles at WrestleMania. That was, his heel turn, which I thought was stupid. Honestly, he didn't think Shinsuke Nakamura should have went heel, but hey, that was probably Vinny. But I don't know. Then also, last thing we're going to talk about, Sami Zayn being attacked by Chad Gable. Chad Gable went heel, highly advised against it. But with this draft coming up, I guess you're probably going to see a lot of different storylines, a lot of different wrestlers kind of take on a different approach, just to kind of shake things up a bit, kind of make things like different. Obviously, this Candice LeRae, Indy Hartwell. Indy Hartwell was expected to kind of like throw Candice LeRae to the curb and be like, why are you doing this? Why are you cheating? Why are you doing this? Not here? But instead, she embraced her role as a heel, which was pretty good, pretty good. Honestly, I feel like that kind of works. You know, ultimately, I feel like WWE is heading toward a good direction. Can't wait to watch Monday Night Raw tonight. I definitely, for sure, think that Sami Zayn is going to have a couple of words for Chad Gable tonight, and ultimately, I think they're going to set up for a round two. Or maybe Gunther gets in the title picture. Maybe they have a triple threat match at the Backlash, which would be absolutely awesome. But yeah. Anyways, so don't go anywhere. All right, next we're going to talk about Impact Wrestling's Rebellion, kind of them as a company as a whole, kind of what things that I think that they should do to kind of get their viewership back, and also things that like kind of pitted them down there. So hey, don't go anywhere.
Looking for your daily fix of sports talk without having to pay for it? GSMC Sports Network is available on YouTube. Just search GSMC Sports Network. Get your fix of daily sports talk shows on YouTube, absolutely free. NFL, college football, NBA, MLB, MMA, UFC, fantasy football, and so much more. GSMC Sports Network has shows running all day long, with new sports shows starting every 2 hours. Just like on your favorite cable sports channel, except GSMC Sports Network is absolutely free. Just search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube to catch one of your new favorite shows, like the GSMC College Football Podcast, Chip Shot Football Podcast, Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, GSMC Basketball Podcast, and so many more. Check it out for yourself. GSMC Sports Network, now available on YouTube absolutely free. Search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube right now.
All right. Welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Just kind of reflect on what we talked about. We talked about our WWE SmackDown review. We also talked about our WWE Raw preview. A lot of good stuff happening in WWE. Can't wait to watch it. And of course, we have our, segment 3. We're going to talk about Impact Wrestling's Rebellion. So Impact Wrestling Rebellion, I read online that it did, in terms of numbers, really, really good. It was held in Las Vegas. Wrestling fans are all over the globe. It's kind of cool that they're able to kind of go to a place like the Palms and go ahead and tear down the house, so to speak. But yeah, let's talk about it. We have our 6-man tag team. We had Leon Slater and ABC defeating the Rascals. We also had our TNA Digital Media Championship match. The Laredo Kid dethroned Crazy Steve, which I kind of saw that kind of coming. Like, I don't want to say Crazy Steve was like a bridge champion to like someone to kind of hold that like digital media television championship better, but I don't, not about that life. Not dogging on any wrestlers because I feel like if I met Crazy Steve, he would probably kick my ass. But anyways, so we have our TNA Knockouts Tag Team Championship. Spitfire, absolutely love Spitfire. Watched a couple of their matches on YouTube. Defeated Decay. you had Masha Slamovich and also Alicia Edwards come out, basically staking their claim as the next challengers for the impact for the total knockouts women's world tag team champions. Next, you have the TNA X Division match where you have Mustafa Ali defeating Jake Something. Jake Something, he put up a valiant effort. I saw it on X. I want to keep saying Twitter. Why did Elon Musk change Twitter to? No, I'm just kidding. That's we're not. This is not that type of podcast, guys. But you know, so I don't know. I think Mustafa Ali is a great champion. I miss him in WWE. Very, very good talent. So pretty cool to see. Next, which was actually pretty cool. You kind of saw Sean Merriman come out and kind of do his thing, which is honestly definitely something that TNA should do more of. I feel like they should incorporate maybe stars, quite a bit, of more, of late. And Sean Merriman, obviously, he's well known in the NFL community, kind of, being that guy. But he was spotted in, and I think that's cool. And I think, this is kind of what WWE did, in terms of kind of cross referencing pop culture with the world of wrestling, with the world of sports entertainment, and just just superstars, just the superstars themselves. Look at some of the WWE divas who found success on Total Divas and stuff like that, and how that kind of contributed to the women's revolution, where they were seen on TV. And people came out to see them. People came out to see Natalia. People came out to see Nikki Bella. People came out to see Naomi and stuff like that. And the list goes on and on. All these girls got great recognition through the ETV show. Ultimately, kind of, divvying into what is the women's revolution that I believe is still, it happened, but it's still kind of happening, so to speak. But yeah, some things that I kind of want to talk about in terms of TNA, maybe some possible reasons why they kind of went down, and part of it was how the departure of Dixie Carter. Dixie Carter, her father is the founder of Panda Energy, which was essentially their main partner, and was able to facilitate and also provide financial stability for the company. And obviously her dad Robert Carter was super help. She had the majority share in TNA from Panda Energy, making her the majority owner. um, and a lot of people said it kind of went downhill. It kind of went downhill when Hulk Hogan came in and Eric Bischoff came in and kind of put more emphasis toward older talent as opposed to younger talent. Like you see on the screen, you saw AJ Styles, you see Robert Roode, Bobby Roode, and you see Austin Aries all kind of took a back seat to when Hogan came. And you saw Ric Flair came, Sting, love Sting, absolutely, but a little seasoned. You kind of had, Jeff Jarrett, Christian Cage, all these kind of older guys, and not enough emphasis in what your younger guys are planning to do, or what you plan to do with these guys as superstars to begin with. Why would you want to waste talent like this? And I feel like that's kind of one of the reasons why Dixie Carter kind of thought to herself and kind of took a step away from the company eventually. Putting an emphasis on older talent. Honestly, some of the main recipes for failures in terms of the wrestling organizations include financial challenges, mismanagement, creative struggles, and just talent retention issues. They weren't able to get these guys. Like you saw Rude, Aries, Styles, they all went to WWE. They did stuff in NXT and then you had Bobby Lashley come from WWE to TNA. Then you saw him come back, and I don't know, it just wasn't good. Also, we had Smashing Pumpkins frontman Billy Corgan acquired a minor stake in TNA, which in a lawsuit where he tried suing TNA, they ultimately kind of gave him the majority stake in the Panda Energy, which was owned by Dixie Carter, ultimately kind of making him the head honcho kind of thing. And it was just kind of a mess, man. It was absolutely a mess. August 12th, he became president, and obviously you see TNA what it is now and what it was back in like 2006 to like 2013. It was a great product. I really liked watching TNA. It was great. It was something different. Thursday night TNA Impact on Spike TV. Or They had the weird ring, I think it was a hexagon, and it was just something that wrestling fans needed, something that, obviously in terms of WWE, when you have the majority viewership, when you're the only successful wrestling organization or product happening at the moment, you're gonna get it's not. Oh God, how do I explain this without kind of saying? It's like eating the same candy bar. It's like eating the same candy bar for the longest time. It's same, like, I love Twix. Twix is really good. Like, it's the same crunch, it's the same caramel, it's the same chocolate, it's the same cookie inside, and it's cool. I love it. Whenever I eat it, I'm like, oh, cool, Twix. Like, this is awesome. But then sometimes it can get a little tiring, especially when Twix continues to be, like what Vince McMahon made the WWE, is just very repetitive, very boring, a lot less like a lot less wrestling and more about promos, crazy promos. Promos are good. Promos are good. But like crazy promos like Bobby, like Rusev's wife, Lana, flirting with Bobby Lashley and having a fight. And it's just like some storylines that kind of go through the WWE that kind of make you like, oh, like, why is, like, I know why they're doing it for entertainment purposes, but honestly, I don't want to watch this. Like, this is crap. This is crap wrestling. And you just don't want to take advantage of the fact that, hey, I'm the only wrestling show out there people are forced to watch because they'll find something like a TNA. They'll find something like a Ring of Honor. And the reason why AEW had so much success was because, they found wrestling. They found AEW because it was different. It was different. People like things that are different. That's just human nature. Human nature is like people usually the psychological being is like usually you want things that you're not used to having or getting kind of thing. So like the moment you see something like that, like AEW, their product and the way they have their matches and the way their superstars are different. It's not PG, by the way, PG-13. You see, people cussing. You see people throwing through tables. You see blood. You see girls kissing each other. You just see like just things that you will not see on the WWE screen, which is kind of what made kind of AEW a little more like kind of like thrash. They had the kind of that WCW Monday Night Nitro, and still to this day they kind of still have that, like that's still like, oh, welcome to Wednesday Night Dynamite, everybody, here live, and it's cool, like something that AEW did better that WWE never really got was their kind of like their interaction with the fans, like where they kind of would have the fans, where the wrestlers would go out there and come in through the entrance with the fans or kind of interact with the fans more like on a personal level, kind of like what you saw on WWE Monday Night Raw, kind of like where you saw Sami Zayn coming through the front building and Jey Uso being like, oh, and I go in there, people, what's happening? The moment I saw that, I absolutely thought WCW. I thought WCW, I was like, wow, like that's something you would see on WCW. I used to watch Monday Night Nitro. I used to watch Thursday Night Stampede. I remember that. It was super, super, super cool. But, obviously good things, come to an end. And, definitely miss WCW at its finest. And anyways, moving on to, covering Rebellion. You have Rick Swann defeating Joe Hendry, Frankie Kazarian defeating Eric Young, Mike Santana defeating Steve Macklin. Nick Macklin's comeback, everybody was so, hyped up about, and he did pretty good, did very good. Next, we have Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers defeating the Speedball Mountain. You have Josh Alexander defeating Hammerstone. TNA Knockouts champion Jordan Grace retained her championship despite outside interference with Stephanie Launder. Next, we had our TNA World Championship match. Moose against all odds against Nick Nemeth. I really thought Nick was going to get, well, I know him as Dolph Ziggler, but no, Nick Nemeth, I feel like he was actually going to win. I kind of wanted him to win. The moment I got the notification through Bleacher Report, and I was like, love Moose. Love Moose. In any kind of combat sport, MMA, martial arts, wrestling, whatever, you have to respect the opponent. Definitely. That's like something like day one. Like, you go to any Taekwondo class, you go to any jiu-jitsu, it's the number one thing, respect your opponent. Next, the final thing we kind of capped it off is we have the Broken Matt Hardy is back in TNA Impact Wrestling, which is pretty cool. I think he belongs there. It was kind of, I was in shudders thinking that he would make a return to WWE. Not because I feel like he would ruin the product. It's just I feel like he'll definitely be an absolute dynamo in another organization. Now you have him in Impact, and now you have that partnership with AEW where he can jump ship to AEW and kind of just be the broken Matt Hardy, which is pretty cool. I know there was speculation thinking that he would join Bo Dallas's Uncle Howdy tribe, his little stable. So obviously that's kind of put to bed. Obviously, like I spoke about it on a couple of, I think it was no, yeah, no, I think it was last podcast where Booker T said that he wants Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy to come back to the WWE because this is where they belong. And I kind of thought about it and I was like, yeah, but you have so many young talents right now. Everybody loves the nostalgia factor. That was kind of Vince's thing. Paul Levesque's thing, I feel like he kind of wants to bring young superstars up, kind of like what happened during the Attitude Era and stuff like that. So, you know, great for Matt Hardy, the broken Matt Hardy. Love his character. Love everything about him. All right. Well, next we're going to talk about over the weekend. A handful of WWE superstars were released, and we're just going to go over that and see, kind of take an inside analysis of it. So hey, don't go anywhere.
For the best and latest podcasts available anywhere, go to the podcast app on your cell phone and type in GSMC to access free content-rich podcasts on health and wellness, book reviews, sports, entertainment, relationships, social media, movies, technology, finance, and even weird news. Subscribe and download the GSMC Podcast Network's family of shows, available everywhere podcasts are found.
All right, all right, all right. We are back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Just kind of reflect on what we talked about. We had our segment one. We talked about our WWE SmackDown review. Obviously, AJ Styles is going to Backlash to fight the American Nightmare and Cody Rhodes. Should be an amazing match. Two of the best to fight in the squared circle in ever in terms of wrestling. It's going to be dream match right there. Segment two, we talked about our Monday Night Raw preview. What's going to happen with the WWE World Women's Championship? I have my, predictions. I hope you guys have yours. Share them. Would love to hear them. Segment three, we talked about our TNA Rebellion. What exactly is going on in terms of TNA Impact as an organization? What they could do to perhaps kind of, become that, that powerhouse of wrestling. It was a certain about probably. I don't want to sound too mean. Oh man, probably like a decade ago. I'm gonna say a decade ago was like prime, you know, prime TNA wrestling. But in my opinion, of course, absolutely. But yeah, and also like what attributed to how they became, you know, not I don't want to say in trouble because I don't want to sound mean, but like kind of like how they got to where they were, where they are right now, basically. Anyways, so yeah, let's go ahead and jump on into some WWE superstars have recently been released. You're going to be seeing it on, especially if you follow wrestling Twitter, you're going to be seeing this kind of all over, kind of all over here. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump into it. We have our obviously the first we kind of have Veer and Sanga. Veer, he was actually in a reality TV show. That was absolutely crazy. It was a baseball contest called the $1 Million Arm, where he was actually drafted by a Pittsburgh Pirates, minor league developmental club. So that's pretty impressive, to be honest. They Veer and Senga made up the tag team of Indus Share. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. Also, they both competed in the recent Andre the Giant Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Man, that's a mouthful. Wow. And they both debuted in NXT in 2018. I saw these guys wrestle a couple of times. They weren't really on the main card so often. I know a lot of people were kind of disgruntled because basically that WWE didn't really give these guys a chance. And honestly, that's kind of fair. That's kind of fair because I feel like they were kind of being brought up during that, kind of like the end of like Vince McMahon's tenure in the WWE. And, very much they probably could have had better bookings, probably could have had a better like spotlights, a better storyline in the WWE Tag Team Title division, but ultimately they weren't able to, and they were, they were like, oh, sad to say, but they were, and all right, next. Oh, I don't know why this is not on. Oh, there we go. That's why. That's why. All right. Next we have Xia Li. Xia Li, she said, and I quote, she said, "As the first female Chinese superstar, I feel proud," which is pretty cool. That's awesome. Definitely. She started in NXT in 2017 in the Mae Young Classic. She actually performed in two Mae Young Classics, I think. She was in the Royal Rumble. She also she mastered the martial art of wushu. Wushu. She's a co-founder of her own fitness studio. She's also multiple first place. She has multiple first place finishes in martial arts competitions, including the World Traditional Chinese Wushu Championship, the World Traditional Chinese no, the Nike Challenge competition, and the China Throwdown, the Battle of the Bond. So, obviously this girl, she's not going to have any problem after WWE. She's going to be picked up pretty quick. I don't know if you're going to see her on another wrestling brand, but obviously she kind of has her own, like, she's an entrepreneur as well as she is a superstar and also as a, kind of like a businesswoman. Like, major respect for this girl. That's awesome. That's like, if I tried any of that martial arts stuff, like I'd probably pull a hammy, or I'd probably, tweak my neck and be like, I can't make it into work today. Like, be like, oh no, I was starting this martial arts company and like we're gonna make millions, million. No, I'm just kidding. No, honestly, this girl is she's gonna be great. She's gonna be great. Would be awesome to kind of see her into WWE again. Will it happen? Hopefully. That'd be cool to see Paul Levesque kind of, pick her back up, kind of restructure her contract and make her into WWE NXT Women's Division. Obviously, they have that new North American Women's Championship that people are going to fight for. And honestly, I think Julia, I think that's how you pronounce Julia, was going to come in from New Japan Wrestling and kind of take over. But I guess she's not planning on debuting in NXT until probably like June. So I'm like, hey, like why not like, pick her back up? She's obviously like she's great. She's talented. She obviously knows how to fight for real. No, I don't want no, and X that. Let's take that back, Let's rewind time. But she's gonna be great. She's gonna be great. And it's kind of sad to see her leave, but ultimately, I know. Vince McMahon knows what he's doing. No, not Paul Levesque. Well, I don't even know. It's kind of like her contract was up, and usually where contracts are up, you kind of have people coming in as you have people moving out. That's just the business flow. That's just the business flow. I have a friend who's a manager, and he said once when you're getting paid salary at any organization, the higher ups are kind of planning their move a year kind of like prior, like, you know what I mean? Like basically if you're gonna get you're gonna get canned, they're gonna know like within a year. You're gonna know within a year. I might come off as like totally surprised, but that's what he told me. I don't know if every business is like that, but I'm like, you know what, like WWE, they just knew. They just knew that they didn't want these superstars. All right, well, next we have Xyon Quinn. Basically he had this to say about the whole thing. He said the comeback is always greater than the setback, which is I agree. That's pretty cool. And he had a quote said 90 days. All these superstars that got released, they are still on like a 90 days, like kind of like period where they can't be picked up or they can't be signed yet. So ultimately, I think Quinn will get picked up. He's an Australian professional wrestler who's found a lot of success. His last match in WWE, which is kind of sad, he lost to Braun Breaker in a squash match, 6 seconds. Wow, 6 seconds in a quad. But he had a great rugby career. I looked, I did a little research on this guy. This guy has had, this guys have played in the rugby organization in Europe. He represented like Samoa, and he also like he's pretty damn good. He's pretty. So will he go back to rugby? I don't know, maybe. By the look of his, his picture, it looks like his body. He's still, he can still throw the ball, kick the ball, rugby the ball. All of you NFL fans out there, all you rugby fans out there, let's kind of mesh together here. Let's kind of mesh together. A lot of people think that like a lot of, because I had some friends who actually played rugby in their high school, and they're like, "Oh man, it's more intense than football. Football, you can't have all this protective gear, you have all these rules and this and that and the other, and rugby's just like so done. Let's not disrespect each other, guys. We as a society need to come together, love each other, enjoy wrestling, enjoy peace, love, and positivity all the time, baby, all the time, all the time." All right. Next, and this is kind of like not the major one because all these superstars, I'm not trying to downgrade anybody, but this was kind of like the biggest one. And by his social media approach, kind of Jinder Mahal kind of had this same thing where he said, basically he said, and I quote on X, he said, "I quit, Maharaja out." And he basically said, free agent, 90 days. And I don't know, it's kind of sad. Like, I really like Jinder Mahal. It's kind of sad how he was kind of like that kind of like that not throwaway superstar, so to speak, but whenever somebody needs to win, or when the Rock came back to have that promo about should I stand at the head of the table, like ultimately who did he squash? Jinder Mahal. Jinder Mahal came back, and his last match was actually against Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship match. Didn't really happen. I remember, I actually remember watching that WWE Monday Night Raw, and Corey Graves was like, "We're gonna have former WWE champion make it," and everybody had speculation that it was Rock. Eventually, it was, but Jinder Mahal came out first, and to be honest. And I was a little disappointed. No, and I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not, I'm trying to share my feelings with you guys. But like, I saw Jinder Mahal come out, and I was like, oh, I thought they were trying to build up something with Roman Reigns and you know, The Rock fighting, but no, like ultimately it's kind of crazy. He does deserve a lot of respect. He's a former WWE champion. He had a shocking win over Randy Orton in 2017. He also won the United States Championship at WrestleMania 34. He had a 169-day title reign. He's only 37 years old. Absolutely, only 37 years old. I think he's going to get picked up pretty quick. Honestly, he's a great wrestler. He's a great wrestler. Drew McIntyre even commented toward his release and said, "Hey, like we're the comeback. We're kind of like the comeback kids here. Like I did it. You've done it before. You can do it again." And it wouldn't surprise me if the Maharaja came back to WWE. It wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't surprise me if I see him on AEW in the foreseeable future. Maybe Impact Wrestling, Ring of Honor. Maybe he'll fit better there. Maybe he'll feel more, maybe he'll be better booked, or maybe he'll have basically be appreciated more over there. Like who knows? So yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Maharaja out. No, I'm just kidding. No. So we talked about Raw. We talked about SmackDown. We talked about TNA. We also talked about WWE releases. Hope everybody enjoyed it. And once again, don't forget to comment on the tips and donations link at the GSMC podcast.net with your questions so I can see it, so we can have a nice little conversation about it. But, thank you once again for tuning in to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast presented by the GSMC Sports Network. Your support means a lot to us, so please remember to Superman punch that like and subscribe button and leave a positive review for the show. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. Tell me how you feel like WWE should handle some of these storylines. It's all open. It's all gravy, baby. And follow us on Facebook. Twitter/X, Instagram, TikTok for more content and updates. And remember, if I haven't made you a wrestling fan by now, we have a bunch of podcasts all over the GSMC Podcasting Network and the GSMC Sports Network. We have Baseball with Sam. We have Kenneth with football. We have TJ Sports, Jeremy Sports, the Andrew Tate Show. List goes on and on and on. We have my boy Tommy on college football. It's just join this bloodline of absolutely badass podcasts. And so don't be afraid to be a part of it. Well, anyways, my wrestling peeps, have a great night. Good to see you guys. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. Thank you once again, and have a phenomenal day.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet. Damn, ain't that great. I don't wanna go to